Today, we're going to be talking all about how to outfit your looks so they fit for the fall. What's up, all you good fellow fly guys? You know who it is, the Cat in the Cap, your resident fly guy, your chief architect, Michelangelo, StarArchitects.com, here to help you redesign your frame of mind when it comes to the styling thing and this Fly Guy Friday. Yo, I hope that you've been showing up this week in style, but if you haven't, if you've been having some issues with your image, or you find yourself just a bit confused every time that you step into your closet, well, fret no more. That's exactly why I'm here, to ensure that you are showing up in style and leaving a lasting impression when it comes to your image. Now today on Fly Guy Friday, we're going to be talking all about how to make sure your clothes fit for the fall. But before we do, if this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate you taking the time to explore ensembles and expression with me. Yo, if you find the information beneficial, please consider subscribing. I would love to be a character in your stylistic story. If you have already subscribed, you know I appreciate you. You know, we got something here, right here. I appreciate you. Now all you have is one thing left to do, and that is hit that notification bell, and that way you will be notified anytime new content is released. So fellas, has this ever happened to you? You took all of your fall and winter clothes to the tailor in July and August to make sure that you had more than enough time for him to do the necessary work for your pieces and to make sure that they were chopped up and ready to go as soon as that cold weather hit. And then that cool day comes and this happened. Ain't this about a blip? I know my tailor didn't mess up my clothes and now I got these joints too tight. Well, in these spaces, I can almost guarantee that you did one thing wrong. You only had one job to do. The number one mistake that most guys make when it comes to their fall attire is that they don't bring the items that they are going to often wear with the rest of their look. For instance, me being in Atlanta, it's a tropical climate. It's not going to get unbearingly cold except for maybe 2 or 3 days out of the year. So even in our fall days are going to be something like 50, 60 degrees and may top off at around 72, 73 degrees. But if I'm back in New York, my fall day may start out at 30 or 40 degrees and go up to 50 or 60 degrees. Not to mention, when I'm here in Atlanta, I'm usually driving and not having to deal with the elements. Versus when I was in New York, whether I was on the street or in the subway, when that hawk hit, and if you don't know what hawk means, that means the wind, I was going to feel it if I was not properly layered. So here's some things to consider when you are going in to make these alterations. If it's the summertime, bring 1 or 2 sweaters that are going to represent the types of sweaters that you are going to wear on a normal basis when it comes to the fall and the winter, and do 2 things. First, put on the sweater by itself, and then put on the sweater with a shirt on under it. The reason being is because the tailor can then make the necessary adjustments for what that in-between fit is going to be. The second thing that you want to pay attention to is how the closure is coming. You know, we were talking about the fit before. We wanted to make sure that we still have some movement when it comes to that buttoning. The reason being is because if you don't take that into consideration, even though it may fit in the chest area, if the waist has not been opened up at all, it's still going to look like the jacket is tight because you didn't take that into consideration. And lastly, make sure that you're going to have enough ventilation when it comes to your suit. Now here's something that a lot of guys don't think about. Our objective is to stay warm when it's cold and to stay cool when it's hot. But one thing that we do forget is that the insulation throughout the day is going to continuously recycle itself if it is enclosed and has no place to go. So even though you may be warm while it's 40 or 50 degrees, as soon as that temperature starts to hike and you're finding yourself moving throughout the day, you can find that you're starting to heat up, sweating profusely, and then looking nervous or unkept, even though you've seemingly done everything right. So if you're in the southeastern region where it's not going to get exceptionally cold, then I would recommend having high gauge sweaters, which means sweaters that are going to have a lot more ventilation, because you don't have to be as insulated. And let's keep it real, you're not going to be out in the cold very long anyway, and that will also allow for you to have a much more wide range of variations that you can pick from when it comes to your fall and winter attire, because that can then transition into the spring. If you find yourself up north in the Northeast or the Midwest, then you want to have things that are going to be easily removed as it gets warmer throughout the day. So you may want to consider a nice cardigan sweater that you can remove your jacket off of and still have something that looks uniform. You may want to look at different types of vests that you can put on under your suit, and again, make sure that that's fitted and that you can remove once you get to the office or once you get to your destination. And so you want to think about things like that that will be easily transitional. And if you're out on the West Coast, let's keep it real, the weather isn't going to change that much anyway, maybe unless you're in the desert. In that case, make sure that you just have something that will allow for you to bundle up or be similar to that tropical climate. So that's it. I guarantee you that if you take these things into consideration when you are taking your things to the tailor, you still got a little bit of time because we seem to be having an Indian summer right now, then you will have much more benefit when those temperatures do drop, in making sure that your look is still tailored but tapered for the clothes that you are going to be wearing them with. So try that on, see how it fits you. Leave me some comments in the comment box if you already had your fall wardrobe tailored and if you took that into consideration, and if not, some of the pitfalls that you had to deal with because of it. Not only I, but I'm sure a lot of guys in the community would definitely appreciate that information so that they can avoid it on their side. If you found the information beneficial, please give me a thumbs up. It'll help the channel grow. And please make sure that you share this with a friend. You never know who may be taking their stuff to the tailor and could use some of this insight before they end up potentially wasting any money. Don't forget that we are here every Monday through Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And lastly, please don't ever forget that dress is nothing more than the expression of a man's state of mind, so you should always dress to express. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.